45 minutes of news from the News and Current Affairs Department of the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. Today is Friday, March 22, 2024. My name is Johnson Batoma anchoring in the headlines as officials of government risk legal action should they fail to turn over government's property as General Services Agency vows to retrieve government assets in the possession of past officials of government. Liberia Broadcasting System Director General Eugene Falcon threatens dismissal actions against any staff exhibiting non-compliance work posture under his administration, says the state radio is not a political party institution. Forestry Development Authority Director General Rudolph Marab urges his institution's commitment in making sure that affected communities receive their 30% share of land rentals fees in the country. Away from Liberia, Uganda's President Yuriman Museveni, 79, has promoted his son to head the military. These plus many more the voices of the newsmaker are all packaged on today's edition of the program News Desk. We take a break to be right back. Thanks for rejoining us at this point with John Oliver Bawan, who will set the pace with the reading of the news bulletin. Good evening, Olivia.
Good evening, Johnson, and good evening to all. The General Services Agency has vowed to retrieve government's assets in the possession of past officials of government. A GSA boss, Garaba Coltiman, making the disclosure at a press conference Friday in Monrovia, said the entity has set up a special task force to carry on the exercise across the country. According to Director Coltiman, the team will begin its work effective Monday, March 25 of this year. The GSA boss is therefore encouraging individuals in the possession of government properties to report said office materials on or before Monday or risk forceful retrieval. He named a vehicle, a laptop, sensible documents, and other government properties as materials that will be the focus of the task force. Meanwhile, Garakba Kultiman is appealing to the general public to help in providing information surrounding hidden government assets for the smooth operation of the task force. He wants the joint security to inspect every vehicle leaving the country aimed at preventing individuals from crossing government's assets to neighboring countries. The Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, Eugene Fagon, has threatened dismissal actions against any staff exhibiting non-compliance work posture under his administration. Fagon said his presence at the institution is meant to work for the people of Liberia. As such, all employees of the institution must prioritize their respective jobs. At the same time, Fagon vowed that his engagement with his Chinese counterpart is yielding results as the Chinese government is prepared to build a new media complex. The LBS Director General has also decried the wave
Mhm.
of ill treatment meted against some employees of the institution. Fagon, who described as applauding, said 246 employees of the institution were reduced to 140. The reduction of staff means they must be replaced by other Liberians. The entire state broadcasting system must be televised by CCTV camera through his lobby. In a related development, the Liberia Broadcasting System Director General said the institution will not be the promoter of only the ruling party, but rather the entire nation and other political parties. According to Fagon, the state broadcaster will not be used for only political decisions, but an institution that will display the culture of the country. The Director General of the Forestry Development Authority, Rudolph Mirab, has assured the institution's commitment in making sure that affected communities received their 30% share of land rental fees in the country. The FDA boss noted that the National Benefit Sharing Trust Board will be empowered as means of taking over fundings aimed at ensuring that the beneficiaries get their money. Speaking Friday at the official signing ceremony of contracts between the National Benefit Sharing Trust Board and three communities forestry development committees, Director Mira expressed concern on report of misappropriation of additional funds paid for communities' benefits. According to him, the institution will be serving as a monitoring arm to the project's earmark, pledging government's commitment in seeking the welfare of its citizens. For his part, the chairman of the National Benefit Sharing Trust Board, Isaac Colley, said the institution is a product of the National Forest Reform Law and authorized to represent the interest of rural forest-based people affected by logging activities. Colley said the signing ceremony is intended to construct various projects within the affected communities, which include the constructions of a guest house in Putudo town, Grandjide, service center in Vokwadi, Silong, Sino, and a clinic in Zika town, Mowe District, Rivers counties. Meanwhile, representatives of the community expressed delight in the project while recommending that national government live up to the agreements. Niba County District Number 3 Representative Neko Gay is calling on the government of Liberia to allot more allocation to the agriculture sector aimed at making the nation self-sufficient. Speaking Friday on the Truth Breakfast Show, Representative Gage that agriculture being the bedrock of the country's economy, there is a need that the sector be prioritized. He said by enhancing the various capacity within the sector, it will drive the country's economy to food sufficiency. Meanwhile, Nekoge called on the government to reinforce some mechanisms to elevate the sector's budget to ensure that the sector meets the country's demand. The Liberia National Police has charged and sent to court Ashamel Gibson for alleged manslaughter. The incident occurred on July 16, 2023. Defendant Shomel Gibson, who is the commander of the police support unit at Zone 4, was at New Georgia Estate Junction at a block factory awaiting police vehicle that had gone to deploy other defendants at Sand Beach, located in the Battery Factory community. While awaiting the return of the vehicle and other defendants, he noticed some disadvantaged youths who usually gather at the block factory to take drugs where they harass and rob their victims. Upon seeing them, defendant Shomel Gibson asked them to disperse, which some did while others, to include victim Edwin King, started to engage him with an attack. At that point, according to our CIA judicial correspondent, the PSU officer, who feared harm, pulled out his assigned NP-22 pistol and began to discharge several rounds, one of which hit the deceased in the skull and exited through the front. Considering the action of the police officer, the disadvantaged youth could not reach the officer who left the scene to report himself at Zone 4. They took the deceased's body at the police traffic station at New Georgia Junction. A Liberian educator, Nathaniel Bumbo, has underscored accountability as the hallmark of a responsible leadership. Vice Principal of the FASA Allies School of Excellence said, responsible leadership contributes to better society. Speaking at the induction ceremony of the Students' Council leadership of the Koma Shepherdhood Mission School System Friday, the Liberian educator and clergy stressed that as a responsible leader, you must take ownership of your decisions, actions, and the consequences. Meanwhile, he has called on for leadership to adopt a service-oriented mindset in striving to make positive difference in the lives of their followers. For his part, the newly inducted president, Lawrence Wissel, lauded students of the institution for the confidence reposed in him to run the affairs of students of the institution. The Commissioner General of the Liberia Maritime Authority has promised to prioritize nationalism over self-interest to make an indelible mark in the lives of the citizens. Speaking during the ceremony held at Lehman office in Concord Town recently, Councillor Nito Zasali lauded President Bwaka for providing him the space in government to serve his people. He has committed his time and energy to work as well as build on what Bwaka Kun's administration has inherited from the immediate past Coalition for Democratic Change. Councillor Lee, however, announced immediate work and expressed optimism that there are prospects for the workers, the entity, and the national government. The seventh edition of the Liberian National Quranic Competition, organized by the United Dawat Oman of Liberia, has commenced at the Ministerial Complex in Concord Town. The competition has drawn youths from all 15 sub-political divisions and is slated to conclude on Sunday. Sheikh Hussein Sow, chairman of the United Dawat Oman of Liberia, emphasized the imperative of supporting the government in the educational endeavors for the nation's children. In an interview with this station, he underscored that the responsibility of nurturing children should not rest solely with the government, advocating for broader community involvement in their training and education. The Japan International Cooperation Agency Alumni Association of Liberia has conducted its third session of the General Assembly in Monrovia. Speaking during the session of JICA General Assembly, President Emmanuel Webo said the organization was founded 2018, bringing together professional Liberians who have benefited from the Japan Scholarship. Wepo at the same time noted that a GCA cooperation to Liberia has contributed in the various sectors in Liberia: health sector, agriculture, education, and intergovernmental entities and non-governmental organizations. For her part, the project advisor of Japan International Cooperation Agency to Liberia, Nakata Yoshimin, said the organization's establishment in Liberia is to implement Japan's government work in the country and also training citizens in Japan to help build their capacities in order to implement projects. Report says residents of Myean District in Riverside County have been out of communication for over 7 months, leaving the inhabitants excommunicated from their relatives. Myean is a district in Riverside County that borders Nimba and is part of the hard-to-reach areas with over 25,000 population. Due to the lack of communication, residents of the area have threatened to prevent the members of the county's legislative caucus and the local authorities from entering the district if they fail to address the issue of communication in 2 weeks. Speaking to Irasia News via phone Thursday, Mowe District Youth President Fandeka said efforts have been exerted for the lawmakers' intervention, but to no avail. A women group under the banner Sharp Home Care Services is seeking economic empowerment for President Joseph Boakai for the vibrancy of the institution. In a letter addressed to President Boakai, the group through its head, Madame Betty Sharp underscored the compelling need for the empowerment of women. Madame Sharp said women empowerment is the surest way to avoid them being liability to society. Away from Liberia, Uganda's president Yoweri Museveni, 79, has promoted his son General Muhoozi to head the military. The 49-year-old's promotion comes amid a major cabinet reshuffle in which 5 ministers were sacked. In power since 1986, Mr. Museveni has denied speculation that he is grooming his only son as his successor. General Muhoozi is a controversial figure, becoming increasingly involved in the political arena in breach of military protocols. In 2022, his father sacked him as commander of the Army's land forces after he made threats on Twitter, now known as X, to invade neighboring Kenya. President Museveni also issued an apology to Kenya's leader and asked Kenyans for forgiveness on behalf of his son. However, General Muhoozi's offending tweet has never been removed. He was promoted to a general and retained as his father's advisor. He followed up with another controversial post that said he would send troops to Moscow to help President Vladimir Putin defeat Russia against Ukraine. Well, Johnson, that's the news bulletin.
Olivia Bauer and the news bulletin, a regular feature here on the News Desk program. If you are just joining us in one of our top developments, Forest Development Authority Managing Director Rudolph Maron assures his institution's commitment in making sure that affected communities receive their 30% share of land rental fees in the country. Let's now bring you our first development here on the program. The General Services Agency has vowed to retrieve government assets in the possession of past officials of government. GSC boss Galapa Kataman making the disclosure at the press conference Friday in Monrovia said the entity has set up a special task force to carry on the exercise across the country. According to Director Kataman, the team will begin its work effective Monday, March 25, 2024.
And those private individuals that are using our government plates on their private cars, the typhoon will also be arresting those cars and bringing it at the General Services Agency, and will be questioning you why you have to use the government plate when you are not supposed to. All of the turnovers from various ministries and agencies and autonomous bureau were all interior. We are not seeing real assets. We are not seeing property being turned over, and it is the right of the General Services Agency to make sure we go after our properties. So we cannot have our ministers that are appointed, we cannot have our directors that are appointed, we cannot have our managers that are appointed, and cars that were purchased by government in the past are in the hands of wrongful people. people. So today we have come to call you that we are going to set up a task force that will go after our property, and in the coming week you will see our task force out that will go after our property. So the General Services Agency has constituted a task force with the internal working of the agency that is going to go after our property, and we have made sure we know that most of our past officials have come on here our property, which is cars and other property, even like laptops, printers, and even air conditions are being extracted from buildings and are in the hands of the wrongful people. So as of today, we are constituting a task force that will go after our property. And these property are not only limited to cars. We also include assets, office, logistics. They are all inclusive. The task force will be starting our work effectively Monday. And so we are calling on everyone, past government officials who are in possession of government cars, who are in possession of government plates, even guest plates, that they should effectively turn them over to the General Services Agency immediately. Other than that, we have a team going after them to retrieve those materials. So,
Meanwhile, the Katumai is appealing to the general public to help in providing information surrounding hidden government assets for the smooth operation of the task force. He wants the joint security to inspect every vehicle leaving the country, by preventing individuals from crossing government assets in neighboring countries.
and those private individuals that are using our government plates on their private cars, the typhoon will also be arresting those cars and bringing it at the General Services Agency, and will be questioning you why you have to use a government plate when you are not supposed to use a government plate. And those guest cars that we see in the street, if they are not for government, please return our plates. You will also be arrested and turned over to GSA for immediate action, where our plate will be restored at the level of General Services Agency. So we are calling on everyone to give us information that will lead to the arrest of any government vehicle in any hiding places. So we got two major numbers that will be announcing that whoever that is patriotic, the Liberians who are patriotic to help this government retrieve our property, you can call us on these numbers, and you don't have to even disclose your identity, but just give all the information, give all the right information. Our team, our crack task force that we have will do their own due diligence, do their own investigation, and they will come after the property. And these numbers are from the GSM that is being operated in Liberia. We got the orange GSM, and the number is 0778 669061. That's the number that you can call, or if the line will be open 24 hours.
He's the that's Galapa Kotuman is the Director General of the General Services Agency. They're speaking at a press conference. The Director General of the Forestry Development Authority, Rudolph Marab, has assured the institution commitment in making sure that the affected communities receive their 30% share of land rental fees in the country. The FDA boss noted that the National Benefit Sharing Trust Board will be empowered as means of taking over fundings, even ensuring that beneficiaries get their money. Speaking Friday at the official signing ceremony of contracts between the National Benefit Sharing Trust Board and three communities forestry development committees, Director Marab expressed concern on report of misappropriation of additional funds paid by community benefit. We hope to bring you that asset here on the program New Dex and Truth 96.1 for today's development. The Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, Eugene Falcon, has threatened dismissal action against any staff exhibiting non-compliance work posture under his administration. Falcon said his presence at the institution is meant to work for the people of Liberia. As such, all employees of the institution must prioritize their respective jobs. At the same time, Falcon bragged that his engagement with his Chinese counterpart is yielding results as the Chinese government is prepared to build a new media complex.
The director said, please support Honorable UGL Fagon. The same support you gave me. Honorable Director General Emeritus, I've been knowing you for many years. You're soft. Don't give me the support and you are out the gate. And the reason is simple. You don't come here to support me. You come here to work for the Liberian people. I too come here to work for the Liberian people. So when we come, we must work together and support each other so that the Liberian people can become the beneficiaries. And if that is not the case, you don't need to be here. It's the first warning. Again, let's start. There was a reason for me inviting the veterans here today. When television was television and radio was radio before the war. I sat in my chair and watched many of you enjoy our cultural heritage. Today, when we look on our television, it's Nigerian music and Nigerian movies. And all about they can tell you about the Nigerian stars and everyone else, but no one will tell you about the little man who treated moments ago. Under my stewardship, that is going to change. I took over about 3 days ago. I had a walkthrough of the system, and the officer in charge, along with heads of the various departments, had to sit down with me individually. Estelle, you tried. I worked in the government that you worked in. I know how you cry many days for fuel to run this system. I'm not going to cry.
He is the Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, UG Falcon. In a related development, Director UG Falcon said the institution will not be the promoter of only the ruling party, but rather the entire nation and other political parties.
I want LBS to be a public broadcasting system. Yes! No more for UP or for CDC. No more for a special group. Don't even praise me. And His Excellency President Joseph Numa Walker said to me yesterday, I am ready. After 42 years of service to my country, I have something to tell young people. And I want to do it for half an hour every week. I want my program. So your president will be a presenter on an ELTV weekly broadcast for 30 minutes, change the tune. That is where I begin my journey. If I can get the president involved, I just spoke to my senior brother, the Honorable Kwame A. Clement. You know what he said to me? I'm available whenever you need me. I talked to Madam Well. She said I teach, but I'm often free during the spring break. I come down in March and I say, will you help us? She said, sure, whenever you need me.
He is the Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, UG Falcon, there speaking on today. The Commissioner General of the Liberia Maritime Authority has promised to prioritize nationalism over self-interest to make an indelible mark in the lives of the citizens. Speaking during the ceremony held at Lima office in Congo recently, Consider Neto Lai lauded President Joseph Boakai for providing him the space in government to serve his people.
It's a great opportunity here to work in the interests of this country to be able to build on whatever we are now inheriting. The American family, initially, I had wanted for us to have like the staff meet. In fact, work starts today for me. It's not just going to be an occasion and at the end of the day we leave Mary Make without achieving something. I'm going to commence work today. But I come with a different start. So let me say thank you all for the work that we've done in Maritime. We followed this agency for a long period of time. One of the few institutions, like previous speaker said, where you have cream of this country. I've read through your personnel listing. I know there are a lot of qualified people here. And trust me, I respect education, and I'm going to make use of qualified, competent, and people who are ready. We have to take our work seriously, so you can rest assured we'll be having meetings with the different departments over the next few days. We'll be reviewing some of the works, we'll be making some suggestions, we'll be asking questions. We hope that you will be prepared to be able to help us with those answers. So,
He is the Commissioner General of the Liberia Maritime Authority. Consider Neto Zazalai there speaking recently in Monrovia. Nima County District 2 Representative Neke Gay is calling on the government of Liberia to allot more funding to the agriculture sector aimed at making Liberia food sufficient. Speaking Friday on a Truth Breakfast show, Representative Gay stressed that agriculture being the bedrock of the country's economy, there is a need that the sector be prioritized.
Agriculture is the bedrock of any economy. If you look at the whole economy, you know what they have in the travel sector. Yeah, their farm, you know, is economic. If you are talking about if you is possible as well cooperative like the US, if you are talking about engaging the robust agricultural activity that you have full sufficiency in the livestock development, in fishery, agricultural activity, that have to do with cash to refuse a project. And you have to have more manpower, and as a result of this, you need to actually reinforce some mechanisms so that the project can be elevated to some appreciable amount because it is what you put in your agenda to be achieved. So if you focus number one, it's number one. So if agriculture is number one to be a key priority in driving our national economy, then you need to actually the money. Even though the budget is before, or we are the appropriation power that the constitution may take. Also, as well, look in the concept and see that the agricultural budget is actually elevated to certain appreciable level that will meet the nation's need. Moreover, because agricultural productivity also come with rules. So seeing the rule, the public work ministry budget a little bit higher than that, but let us still add up because if you have the production in the various farm and other areas and you don't have access to market rule, it means that the productivity will not achieve its desired result. So you have to also the rule issue is very important. The issue of the tourism also that is the last, in the
Nekegi is Nima County District 3 representative. They're calling for more funding towards agriculture in Liberia. Report says residents of Mowe District in Riverside County have been cut off of communication for over 7 months, leaving the inhabitants excommunicated from their relatives. Mowe is a district in Riverside County that borders Nimba and is part of the hard-to-reach areas with over 25,000 populations. Speaking to RCI News via mobile phone, Mowe District Youth President Van Decker said efforts have been exerted for the lawmakers' intervention, but to no avail.
Since the election of last year got over, which was in November, we started experiencing, but before then, the network issue or the booster tower that is situated in Buzi, even in Zambia, started creating problems and citizens started to engage the territorial district superintendent and that of booster authority. But then we would come and do it and they don't all go, but after 1 week like that, you look for the network. Sometimes we go for almost like a month before you go look at the camp. So right after the election, we elected our lawmakers and they are aware currently of the situation that is currently unfolding in electoral district number one in terms of this communication issue. So since the election up to this time, brother, you can even place your phone in electoral district number one, you will not get nobody. Electoral district number one is totally off from the rest of the world. Will you imagine that in a kind of digital world? There's a serious constraint. The communication issue has sabotage economic situation in that place. People who are like, doing the mobile money, they are no longer doing the mobile money. You send money to somebody in that place, the person can't get it except they travel to compound before they will be able to get that money, or they travel to Vijana before they will be able to get that money. Even if somebody is staying in the district, there is no way. In recent times, one of our colleagues, he want to sell tree, why the tree kill him. We could have added that information to our colleagues, to other people, to a family member who live in one of the districts, until we have to travel this far before we were able to know at which time we already buried the individual. So there's an alarming situation in electoral district number one, Riverside County. We are calling on the lawmaker on a progress to exercise one of his cardinal functions that has to do with oversight. He needs to invite rooster, radio station, everything down. Where are we heading? So this our senator, why we elect these people for? We elected them to think the welfare of our people. But today the people, they are crying, they are drowning. No communication. Even when something happens to your family back home, there is no way you will get in touch with them. You will just be saying, and language before you make all your mind, it needs to just ban for you like that. We are
Van Decker is Mowe District Youth President there, speaking via mobile phone, calling on the national government to intervene in the communication area in that part of the country. Well, folks, if you're just joining us, please be informed that you are in tune to News Desk for the 5 minutes of news from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. In our top developments, health officials of government raise legal actions should they fail to turn over government's property as General Services Agency vows to retrieve government assets in the possession of past officials of government. Liberia Broadcasting System Director General UG Falcon 13th dismissed action against Ernest Style as evident non-compliance work posture under his administration says the state radio is not a political party institution. Forestry Development Authority Managing Director Rudolph Marad assures his institution's commitment in making sure that affected communities receive their 30% share of land rental fees in the country. In more developments, the Japan International Cooperation Agency Alumni Association of Liberia has conducted its third section of the General Assembly in Monrovia. Speaking during the section of the JCAR General Assembly, President Emmanuel Webu said the organization was founded in 2018, bringing together professional Liberians who have benefited from the Japan Scholarship.
We are here, the Jack group is a conglomeration of professionals from all over the country, people from different ministries, agencies, like all the ministry in Liberia, agency, private sector, they will all come together, we were established in the 70s, the law came out on in 2019, we have people that came on board. People that living that going to defense, that government workers, like carry that go to defense, even online, Egypt and other places, people that go in there, these are people that organize themselves as one body that come together to work as family so that they can promote the aspiration and serve as ambassador of country defense. So this is why we are here today. Since I took over as president for this group, this is the second general assembly we are going to have, and we are grateful to be having a successful general assembly. As so, as it stands, I'm going upward battle. We are on election, so that I'll be going upward battle today is because of the work we are doing for our people.
Imaya Ulabo is the president of the Alumni Association of the Japan International Cooperation Agency. They are speaking for part the project advisor of Japan International Cooperation Agency to Liberia, Nakata Yoshima said the organization establishment in Liberia is to implement Japan government work in the country and also train citizens to help build their capacities in other parts of the country.
I'm a project coordination advisor in health and agriculture and other health sectors related to social development. I've been in Liberia since December 2020. I live here. I live in Monrovia. My function is deputy head, but we have only two Japanese here, so only head and deputy. Japan International Cooperation Agency is a bilateral agency to implement Japanese government international cooperation. So we have offices in more than one.
Nikata Hoshima is the project advisor of Japan International Cooperation Agency. They're speaking. Grand Bassa County Senator Besonga Fini also agrees the occasion and made these remarks. His Grand Bassa County Senator Besonga Fini there speaking. The sixth edition of the Liberia National Islamic Competition organized by the United Dawa Amma of Liberia has commenced at the Ministerial Complex in Congo Town. The competition has drawn youths from all 15 subdivisions of Liberia. Sheikh Saw, chairman of the United Dawa Amma of Liberia, emphasized the imperative of supporting the government in the educational endeavors for the nation's children.
We want the excellency to support us because we want to be self-employed. First, if we are self-employed, we'll be able to do so many things for our.
We sincerely apologize for breaking the raw upset here on News Desk. But still in educational news, a Liberian educator, Nathaniel Bomo, has underscored accountability as the hallmark of a responsible leadership. Vice Principal of the Fasa Alas School of Excellence said responsible leadership contributes to better society.
Today
night and significant moment in the life of the school as we gather to celebrate the induction of our student council elect. It is a time-honored tradition, a group of exceptional individuals in the position of leadership and service. It is imperative that we reflect on the significance of these values and how they shape not only our individual actions, but also our collective identity as a school or student council government elect. I want you to uphold the value of integrity. Integrity is the foundation upon which trust is built. It is about doing what is right, and even doing the right thing when no one is observing or no one is a witness.
He is a library educator and the vice principal of the Fasa Alas School of Excellence. The speaking when he served as induction officer during the student council leadership of the Kuma Shepahu Mission School system on Friday. Finally, to this development, a women group under the banner Shop Home Care Services is seeking economic empowerment from President Joseph Barker for the vibrancy of the institution. In a letter addressed to President Barker, the group, through its head, Madam Betty Sharp, underscored the comparative need for the empowerment of women in Liberia.
So we are asking rescue team, our father, to make the salary available that they think will be self-employed. But each and every one are self-employed. This woman will say, yes, I'm cooking my cocoa, my children will eat a cross, they will go to school. She will not be able to run behind any representative of cocoa. She will not go wait for Intel to come give you money to go to market. So we are asking His Excellency, we are asking His Excellency to please do what all he can to have unemployed. We will think about ourselves. Nabi Boy is disabled. She's one of those who are benefited from the institution. Don't see her like that, but she's strong. She got her sharp. She served her goods. Then Nabi Boy will not be played on. And please help. Nabi Boy has the intention of opening bigger shop and doing big business to help her daughter to go to school. The women with disability, they are more vulnerable. My son, you'll see them with 3-4 children. They don't have father. But when men with disability get a mother, you see my wife is my mother. That lady will be there as a mother. So we are asking him to please, he and Jeremiah Boone, to empower us to be able to help ourselves in community. Self-empowerment for women is a backdrop of the nation. When we are empowered, community is empowered.
Madam Betty Sharp is the head of the Sharp Home Care Services. They're calling for economic empowerment for women in Liberia. Taking us home on today's edition of the program News Desk. Just before we go, a recap of our major developments here on the program News Desk. As officials of government raised legal actions should they fail to turn over government's property, as General Services Agency vows to retrieve government assets in the possession of past officials of government. Liberia Broadcasting System Director General Duty Falcon threatens dismissal actions against any staff exhibiting non-compliance work posture under his administration, says the state radio is not a political party institution. Forestry Development Authority Managing Director Rudolph Marad assures his institution's commitment in making sure that the affected communities receive their 30% share of land rental fees in Liberia. And away from Liberia, Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni said the man has promoted his son to head the military. We'd love to say many thanks to our writers, contributors, correspondent for making today's edition of the program the success. Special thanks to Afidi Radio Station for relaying this broadcast. Maya Torgbean sat behind the camera while Kopo Sangha controlled our sounds. Oliver Bawan brought you the news bulletin. My name is Johnson Bantoma. Good night.
Let me make sure I got all the sanitary items I need. I'm checking my list. Oh, yes. One more item. Let me have a big bottle of Dettol, yeah, across the board.
Yes, it. The total amount is 3,000 LD.
Okay, let me give you your money. Hey, my people. I can't find my purse. Lola, I left it on my kitchen table. My husband are rushing me too much. What's I will do now?
Don't worry, Costa Homo. You can pay with your phone. Here's the code here on the wall.
Awesome. Yes, I do have money on my phone.
With Orange Money, making payments for goods at your favorite store with your merchant is as easy as ABC.